a second pose working, or a new pose, not a second one, a new one, which is the special pose. Ran into a couple of issues, but I got them sorted out. So it required doing some updates to the keyboard tool, which I did a little bit of refactoring and added a couple new functions. And I just wrote some tests for them. Basically, what it was is that the every key was being passed down to the on key down and the handle unit move. And so when we'd push one, it would actually invoke a lot of the unit move things. So I sort of separated that out so that it would only execute when one of the move keys is pressed. So that works. So I'm going to show what we got going on here. And it's strangely not running. There we go. And so same old thing. Here's our unit moving around. And then if I hit 1, you'll see him start casting and then move around. It's not really doing anything yet, but at least it works. So now we want to see, there's one more issue here. If you see him running around, you'll see when I cast the spell, he like drops down. It's because the offset is not the same. So we're going to have to sort of build that in. So let's take care of that. So one thing that we need to figure out is how we want to handle the offset. One way we can handle the offset is, if we look at the GIF here, is we really can't just move him around. So that's kind of a bummer. And so what we can do is let's take a look at our, we can shut these down. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to commit that to status. Git add asset. Ooh, why is there so much changes here? I wonder if there's a lot of debugging. Let's see here. That's a lot of things to make sure. So that's all that. Updated the playground a little bit, so that makes sense. Our spell. Oh, those are tests. Okay, so it's legitimate stuff. So git status, git add assets, commit, animation, bug fixes, and added new special pose to Necro. So there's that. Okay, so let me push up the master. That's up and ready to go. And now what we need to do is just take a look at our Necro display. Now we have an issue here where we have a offset. Is this anything that we can take care of easily? We could just code it straight into it, which is okay. Which I think I'm okay with for now until I think of a better solution. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this in Finder, or show in Finder or something like that. Where are you? In Finder. Okay. So we're going to open up the GIMP. And what we'll do is we'll say private static inline var special pose offset. So float. Mother unit. So now I'm just going to put a number in here so it'll not get complaining at us. And now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our probably our idle. No, not the JSON. PNG, just drop it on here. And so there's our idle. Did it open up a second window? So we're going to need our layers. So interesting. I guess I just opened up the same thing twice. So let's go to special and drop that on here. And that's what we need here. Okay, so we're just going to look real close and try and line up his feet. It looks like this will probably be a point. Midpoint. 0, 0. And we need the move tool. And we want it about like that, right? So I think that's legitimate. So we're going to have to figure out how much we're moving him. Can't just do that. Why? Yeah. I'll just trash that one. So we'll go 1, 2, oh, come on. Move tool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 23. Let's see here. That might be okay. 3. I think that might be okay, so it's 0. So now we can do it's interesting when we create frames. Create frames. We go through, we go to the asset locator, create instance, JSON string. And we get the frame spec. What I'm going to do, this might break a few things, but I think I'm okay with it, is we're going to pass the offset. And then we pass that into here, offset. Okay. And here, where x and our y, I say plus offset point offset dot x plus offset dot y. And so that'll create the offset. So here we're going to say on create frames, we'll say new point darn it, new point and special pose offset. And we'll see if it builds. And we need the texture frame spec test. And we'll do a test for that. We'll say test should apply offset to each frame. Okay, so this one we're just going to say new point. I'll let that pass. And main point. Okay. And we'll do this here, like that, and we'll pass 20 and 32. And so now, should be able to run this and see it fail. Sprite animation test. Oh. Sprite animation test. 35. I love compiled languages sometimes. And when I say sometimes, most of the time. Catching things like that. Okay, so that failed, which is good. So we're going to go to here. I'm going to say plus 20 plus 32 plus 20 plus 32 and that passes. Not a big shock there. Oh yeah. And now we're going to build that. Okay, so network display. It's not considered a constant, so we're going to kill that. And we're going to toss it right here. So the next thing we want to do is, let's look at some of our poses again. We have our original here. We have walk, special cast. Get pitch, doesn't really matter. Walk, run. It's probably idle, neutral. Kick, we don't really care. Special one. Maybe some block. Attack, which we might use. Attack 2. And there's no dying, but that's okay for now. So here, did move him, but it's not what I wanted, was it? So, network display. Setting the setting the offset on the frames is not going to work. And so we have a bitmap. And we can set the X and Y. I'm going to keep this for now. No reason why we can't use it later for something else. And so we have the animation controller, we have our bitmap, and this itself is a sprite. And we add the display. We create the display. Here's where we add the bitmap. So I feel like extends display node. Okay, so we should be able to do and we change the pose. Private static inline var special pose y offset is int 32. I know it's 23. So here, if current pose is equal to poses special, bitmap.y plus equals special pose y offset, else bitmap.y equals 0. See if that does the trick. Whoa, that's kind of cool. Interesting. So that works. Pretty cool. All right. So that'll solve that. See if our test pass. It should pass fine. And so now we've got that looking better. Now, what I want to do is I want to be able to have him create some minions. This is the next part of our game here. But in the meantime, actually, what I need to do is I need to make this authoritative on the server side so that we don't just have them do a pose and then move them. We don't want this. I'll show you what I mean. We don't want this. So go back to the game and assume, we run. I wonder why he jumps like that. That's not that great. think we have, yeah, we have this already. And I think we actually want to not do half, we actually want to do the height. But regardless, we want this. So we're going to do private first frame. And then we're going to do the same thing here. Do negative. And we're going to do this plus that. And that should do it. There we go. Interesting. What? Suppose idle. No, can't do that. We can do it here though. Boom. And that'll work. Nulls. Nulls, nulls, nulls. In fact, we don't even need that, because we're going to set the pose and it's going to change the ways. We open, did it build quickly? Alright. Current pose frames. Store we had. So the problem is set pose is called, but we don't have our first frame set. We can just do this. And then take that out. That'll do the trick. I said that last time, but oh well. Alright. So build, yes. Okay, so we need to go to our single hero interaction, and this is where we're going to cast the spell. So now, single hero interaction test should send cast spell to stream handler. Open this. Well, crying out loud. Oh. That's not a problem. Well, it is a problem. There we go. Still jumpy. Let's see here. I wonder if we... Let me see what's going on. I wonder if 23 is too much. And so, okay, so back to here, we're going to add screen handler, that, and we're going to have a new action, new output action, which is cast spell. And here's our this. Cool. All right, so we don't even need that. We just had to reassign it. So that's cool. I like that. So it should be better. So we're just going to get that out. That's cool. I like that. I don't need this one either. I don't need that blink line either. All right, so we have a cast spell, and we need to go to our IO commands. Output is going to be unit cast spell 4, and this test we're going to need to do. Let's grab this. And I'm going to rename this to unit cast spell. Put that in there. And this is going to be unit cast spell, unit ID, and this is going to be the target position if necessary. And the, I'll do it here. Okay, I heard ya. Shut up. Okay, and the target unit ID. So that'll be if there's a targeted unit, like unit ID, and or if you want to do a target position, it could be like an AoE or something like that, and it just say like cast in this area. And I think that should be it. It shouldn't be much more involved in that. And then in our input, we'll get a class. I'll call this unit casted spell, and that's going to be very similar to this here. Okay, and that, and we're going to go to IO commands. I'm going to say unit casted spell. Make that 5. Unit casted spell. Gotcha. And what we'll do is just set the position. So we'll just look at that area. That should be fine. Here. So now all I have to do is just point them in that direction. look like he's casting a spell. And then, if we need to do any tweening or whatever. Actually, know what we need in both cases. Var spell ID. Right. We're going to need that. And then here, this is going to be the spell ID. So I'm going to need that in both cases. Spell ID. And then here, spell ID. Very good. Okay, so now, back to here, we're going to get the init cast spell. Cast spell. And we'll have a few things here, which is X, target Z, spell ID, we'll call this 100, and target unit ID, we'll call this 140. That looks reasonable. And now we're going to call the hero interaction as spell new spell value object, which we probably should mock our spell is mock mutable spell row. And so spell, and we'll do spell ID returns 100, and stream handler send cast instance of IO handler verify. And, all right, failure. And that's what we wanted. So now we're going to go to cast spell, and we're going to create a private, we'll call this the init cast spell. Spell. Go. Let me go back to our test. And we need to do this. Init cast spell. Init cast spell. And we're almost there. I'm going to do init cast spell. Ooh, we're going to need a target. Target unit. And then target target location world point. So An issue we have is we need -1, -1, if they have a unit specified. Spell on target unit. And so we need to write a second test here and target location. This would be -1, some value, some value. In fact, I should probably use these values. Nope. Yep. Okay. So now we do cast a spell. Target location is null, but we have a target unit. Unit val is the wrong thing. We want game object. Our target. Here. Mock game object. Target ID returns 42. And so now we're going to go to target and unexpected that thing. Single unit interaction. Okay. Game object, and I need to do this. And battle keyboard tool. I'm just going to comment this out now. Single hero interaction test 97. This is the wrong one. And game object has no field kit ID. 598. Mock game object. Get ID. This one's going to be this. Here, no. So now I'm going to say if let's say unit have spell ID is going to be spell dash ID if target unit is equal to null, else if target location equal to null, and then it's that, and then in the stream handler send spell, and we're going to do this target location, target position X, position Z, unit cast spell, target unit ID equals target standard parse int target unit dot ID. Still fails. Test it. $42 unit ID. Yay, tests. And so, why not? Okay, this should be target unit ID, that should be 40. And so why isn't hero ID is assigned? Cast spell unit ID. This is the last thing I would expect not to be working. Definitely 0. Oh my gosh, I love tests. -1. So maybe 0 is okay. No, because that's... Do we need 2 different function calls? It's an interesting question. Optimization-wise, I think 0, 0 is fine. And if we get a target that we can't find, we just send it at the location like a fallback. I think that's okay. And so now, another issue, 312, 324, 32. There we go. So that'll work. So that's it for today. Optimize those. And that's it for today, definitely. So git status, git commit, added, fixed animation, offsets, and added sending spell to server. Git push Skylar master. Boom. Tomorrow we'll hook it up. Happy coding. See you guys then.